All right, guys, so this next section, we're going to deeply explore the Explore section of Discovery Education. So I'm going to point out a few things for you before we get started, okay? So again, what I want to make clear with the Explore section is that each page, so here are your page numbers, 1, 2, and 3, each of these is one assignment, and they'll show up on your home page, okay? So again, when you get done with page 1, you do not need to go to page 2, okay, until that assignment pops up. So again, these are separate assignments, okay, and that is for any concept that we may be doing over the next few weeks, okay? So I'm going to go through each section with you, okay, and here we go. So again, very similar to the Engage section, okay, you read, and you can see here again there are words that you can click on, vocabulary words for this particular concept. It's going to show you the same thing as the words I showed you in the Engage section. You have an animation, details, video, and image. Get back. Okay. Now, sometimes they're going to have articles you can read. I may assign something like that sometimes, other times I won't. It just depends on what it is. Feel free to read at your pleasure if you wish. But in this case, you did not get this, so you don't have to read it if you don't want to. Keep going, you keep reading. All right, so sometimes in the Explore section, again, this is a chance for you to explore this particular concept at your own pace. So again, they'll show you images. So this one is an image of a lake food web. You can click on that, and all it does is it pulls it up and makes it a lot larger. You can see here you have the algae and the producer level, and then above that your primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, so on and so forth, okay, of a lake. All right, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, and we're back. Let me scroll down again here. Okay, so I know we had an issue with this. I really wanted this to work because it allows you to play around and make your own food web, but it did not work, unfortunately. So you do not have to do this, but if you want to try it, you're more than welcome to. It may work on some computers. It wasn't working on mine, so no worries there. I'm going to continue forward here. Okay, so again, we have another drag and drop situation. So if you remember correctly, in the Engage section, I told you that sometimes it'll allow you to retry if you get a wrong answer. So I wanted to show you that here. Okay, so let's say, for instance, I put a shark eats a tuna fish as a producer, okay, and then I click submit. It's going to say it's incorrect, right? But what it allows you to do is that you can hit try again, and you get to start over, and it does this every time. So again, let's say I put a black bear eats an insect and hit submit. I'll say try again. So you can keep trying again as many times as you want until you get all of them correct. Again, it's not taking away points from you or anything like that. I would like for you to try as many times as you want until you get it correct. So please continue to try this. Again, this is a drag and drop. You use the scenarios and drag them to the right section of the pyramid, whether or not the scenario is a producer, consumer, or decomposer. Okay, and when you get done with that, you hit save and submit. It gets submitted to me, and you go back again to the top, and then you would hit mark complete, and that is the first assignment. Okay, and then you're done. You don't have to move forward. Now, I'm going to show you what happens now with the next section. So the next section was a separate assignment. Okay. And so again, we're going to scroll down, you read. All right, here's some videos, or a video and an image that you can click on. One is of a squirrel obtaining food, another one is showing how we how our bodies convert food into energy as well. We talked about that when we did our lesson on cellular respiration and photosynthesis, but feel free to watch that. Okay. Keep scrolling down. Okay, so I know this one was a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm going to read the scenario to you here. It says, these two graphs show the amount of food consumed by a single species of organism. One graph shows food intake during 1 week in the summer when the organism is very active. One graph shows food intake during 1 week in the winter when the organism is mostly at rest. Which graph represents each time period? That's the first question. Second question is, why are the two graphs different? Okay, so you explain your answer, citing multiple pieces of specific evidence from the graph, and then also explain how the graph provides evidence that food is important for the organisms. Now, you may have questions like this during the Explore section on any of the concepts that we learn about, okay? So, again, you analyze the graphs just like we've done in class. In this case, we have a bar graph, 2 bar graphs, okay? And you type your answer here, okay? Answering all the questions, okay? Now, to help you with that, if you click here where it says Show Evaluation Criteria, it gives you a rubric. And now this is what I'm actually looking at when I grade your answer. So you can look at this and make sure after you type up your answer that you have met the requirements for each question, okay? So to make sure that you get full credit, okay, you have to correctly identify what graph A represents, is it summer or winter, and then support that identification with multiple pieces of evidence from the graph itself. You do the same thing with graph B, and then you also explain why food is important to organisms and support this explanation with evidence from the graph, okay? And it's out of 6 points. So you type all that here, and then you click Save and Submit. And now again, there's a lot of Explore activities where you have to do this, and you have to use the rubric in order to get full credit for your response. So again, when you get done, you come all the way back to the top, and again, it will be a mark complete button here. If there's not, it's okay, you just hit submit and move forward. Sometimes there's mark complete and sometimes there's not, but as long as you are hitting save and submitting your assignments, they will show up on my end. All right, let's go over the last assignment from last week for the Explore section, okay? So, again, you read. You can click on the vocabulary words that are in blue. Don't worry about any of these things. This was stuff if we were still in class we could do, but we cannot since we are learning remotely, so you don't worry about that. The energy pyramid. Now this is, again, this can be a little bit challenging, but it's asking you to calculate the missing values in the energy pyramid based on the one level that has been provided, then drag and drop the correct values to show the amount of energy available at each level of the energy pyramid. So level 1 is in the bottom of the pyramid and level 4 is at the top. So level 4, level 1, okay? So you have to choose from these options here. All right. Now the 10% rule means that energy is lost, or 10% of the energy is lost every single time you move up the pyramid, okay? So what you would have to do is go down here, and it gives you the mice. It says 500 kilocalories of energy, okay? So you would calculate the 10% loss every time you go up in order to get the correct answers here. So in this case, you'd have 50 in level 3, 5 in level 4, and 5,000 in level 1. Okay? And then you would hit save and submit. All right. And it says great job. So that is how you navigate that section, okay? And then it would be submitted to me. And so when you're done, oh, one more thing. And again, to calculate this, all you got to do is you times 500 by 0.10, that should give you 50, and then 50 times 0.10, and that should give you 5, okay? So again, the level 1 is the largest amount of energy stored, and then every time you go up the pyramid levels, it loses 10%. Okay, so one last thing. Again, you would hit mark complete, but last thing, in case you would like to explore more, you can hit explore more resources. There are a lot of videos you can find, images, reading materials, interactive activities. There's a data graphing tool that you could use, but we won't need to worry about that now. So there's lots of things at your disposal for this section. Okay, I hope that helped. And in our next video, I will be going over the Explain tab with you, followed by the elaboration with STEM, and then I'll send one more video out that will explain the tools at your disposal. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.